All right. Hey guys, we're so excited to be bringing our first Merge Coach Zoom. Just a reminder, if you have any feedback, if you could go ahead and mute yourself just for the recording purposes, so listening back will be super easy. I'm really, really excited for this call. Some of you guys know, I think I've talked about it. First off, my name is Ashley Howard. If you don't know me, we are borrowing Kristi's link. She is going to be our guest speaker tonight. Kristi, I'm going to introduce her in just a second, is my success partner, and we absolutely love working together, and we both are doing separate trainings right now with Instagram. So in just a minute, I'm going to toss things over to her, and she's going to share what she's learning so far with Chalene Johnson's Marketing Impact Academy. I'm really excited because it seems like from the training I'm doing and what she's doing, we're learning different things, but they're both so useful for Instagram because we all know that Instagram's changing all the time. I don't want to take up too much time tonight. You'll be hearing more from me next week as I explain what I'm learning from the Instagram lab training. But real quick, if you're a coach on my team, we do have both of our teams on tonight. So you might not recognize everyone, but this is pretty awesome to do a dual Zoom. I wanted to just share 3 real quick announcements for my team, guys. On Wednesday night, we're going to be doing a What is Coaching or Glimpse into Coaching live Zoom. Actually, Kristi did that last week and pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and do it too. Just to change things up, I'm going to post about it in our Glimpse group. And even if you don't have anyone to invite right now, that can be your focus for the next 2 days. You know, sharing about it in your stories, doing a post tomorrow night or Wednesday morning, inviting these people onto a live Zoom. We'll keep it to 30 minutes. I'll share a PowerPoint. We'll have time for questions and answers. I know Heather Marie has already volunteered to share briefly about her story. And if one other coach wants to pop in, we probably have time for that too, and just share in like 2 minutes, you know, what coaching means to you. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk more about that in our team page. Our Transform 20 group is open. We still have to kind of figure out a plan for how to promote that. But remember, they can start purchasing Transform 20 in early December. So that's our focus from now through the launch, because it's going to be a huge launch. And it's going to help us through the holiday season when that can typically be a slower month. We've got this massive program launching, which is awesome. Lastly, Black Friday. So Beachbody does a Black Friday type of deal. I'm sure they're released somewhere. I don't have the exact specifics on them, but for my team, we do our product preview group. I know I think a coach suggested possibly doing the sales in that group. So I will talk more about you when we get closer to Black Friday and we know what all those deals are. We could talk about doing some sort of, display of what's on sale, which is exciting. Remember, all challenge packs though are $20 off. I think that's it. So real quick for our announcements, moving on to Kristi. Real quick, I want to introduce her. And we met at the Success Club trip in person, but we had met before. So when I lived in Alabama, she is also from Alabama, and we connected at some Super Saturdays. And then we both were on the Success Club trip in Mexico this past spring. And our husbands started talking and we started talking, and we found we had a lot in common. We found that we had very similar goals for our businesses and very similar ranks, and everything just seemed very similar. So we have been success partners since then. It's a really great partnership. We talk about twice a week, and we really just keep each other accountable. Make sure I don't miss anything. This is the crazy thing about your stats. First off, she became a coach in September of 2014. She became Diamond, you guys, in 60 days, meaning that she freaking hustled and built a team in 60 days. And you'll have to correct me, but I think you said you left your full-time nursing job in 4 months after coaching, which is, again, mind blown. Don't compare yourself, but it just shows what at all levels of coaching and what level of where you want to go in this business can take you. She is a lifetime 3-star diamond, which means she has helped mentor at least 3 coaches to become a diamond coach themselves. She was a 2015 Premier coach, which is just the step right before elite. So Premier is huge, and elite is huge, and she reached that goal in 2015. And she is a Success Club 10 All-Star Legend, which is also huge because it means she has achieved Success Club 10 every single month for at least 24 months. Is that right? I know it's a lot longer than that, but is it at least 24 months for Legend?
Yeah.
Okay.
All-Stars 1 year, I think. Legends, 2 years.
So she's pretty much an extremely hard worker. She's very dedicated. Her and her husband, Jordan, are awesome. They are, I'll let you share whatever you want to share, but she is just really excited to talk about Marketing Impact Academy, about Instagram. So have your notes ready. She's going to share her wisdom, and I will be this merged call next week. I'm going to take part 2 next week about what I'm learning. So I think that's it. Did I miss anything?
You're good. Yeah.
All right, take it away. I'm going to mute myself.
If you forget anything, if you have any questions, just use the little chat box, and we'll definitely do questions at the end. So yeah, I'm Kristi. Nice to meet y'all. She told you a good bit about me. So yeah, my business like skyrocketed at the beginning because unlike most people, I'm like balls to the wall, all in. I was like miserable with my nursing job, like working 12 to 16-hour shifts, missing my husband. I was like, this ain't okay, you know? So I was like, I sacrificed sleep, cut out TV, all that stuff, those short-term sacrifices, which I get to where we are now, and it's kind of been that stall for like 2 years. It's been hard, you guys, but good things are hard. Good things take time. So, you know, we're just going to keep hustling and digging deep. And that is why I was like, you know, Ashley told you we've been married for a long time. We're actually in the adoption process. So it's super expensive, but I also know that when my kids come, I want to be present with them. So I was like, I have to do something. And I kept looking at all these different things, and I was like, MIA just kept popping up. And I know Shalene is a rock star in all that she does. So I'm excited. Like, it's like mind blowing. And I'm only just getting started as of like 3 weeks ago. So I'm excited to share. I actually made a little PowerPoint. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, if that's okay. I can get to it. All right. Let me minimize you guys. Okay, so I personally love Instagram. When I first started, I wasn't even on social media. Well, I had a Facebook, but it was only to creep other people, not for me to personally post. So I created my Instagram from the ground up 4 years ago, but I love it, and I hope you guys do. So surely you do if you're here. Okay, so we're going to talk about creating engagement first. Likes are irrelevant, you guys, and this goes for really Facebook too, from the most recent algorithm update that I was told about. So these are 5 things that directly impact the algorithm right now. Carousel post. You may not know what carousel post. I did not know what carousel post was, and it's actually the ones where you like have to do the swipe through. Is where you just put more than one picture together. You know, Facebook frowns upon that. They like one post from what I'm told, but carousel, because, and I'll get into detail in a minute, but every time you swipe, that's an activity. So they love carousel posts. It boosts your engagement. And then 2, of course, is IG stories, which, you know, we've been talking about for a while now. IGTV comes in 3rd, because these are in order. IG lives are 4th, and then 5s are photos turned into blog posts, because most posts are really lengthy now. So that's kind of what they're talking about. Okay, so what you can implement right away. You want to create savable posts. Like, you want to give somebody something that's so interesting that they're like, oh, they're going to want to come back to it. So if they save your post, that's like huge for Instagram. Like, they acknowledge that in your case, that you are providing valuable content to your followers. So whether it be like a recipe or workout tips, anything like that, we have a wide array of stuff, being health and fitness coaches, that we can share that is of value. So 2, again, this goes back to the carousel post. So people going back and forth, scrolling through. So instead of doing a whole 1-minute video of a workout program, or I get the DIY project as an example here. So say there's like a 3 or 4 step process. Instead of doing a long 1-minute full video, you break it down to 15 seconds for step 1, 15 seconds to step 2, and every single time they're swiping, and it's helping you in the long run. And an app that Shalene told me about is Cut Story, and it is a free app on your iPhone. I don't know if you don't have an iPhone, but iPhone, it is on there. To help do that, and it'll break it down. You can record it longer, but then it'll break it down to those 15-minute segments for you. 3, get better at IG stories, and this is something I've really had to grow with, and I love stories, and because of what I said just right here, it gives us the opportunity to just be truly real to who we are. You know, in our posts, we try to polish them, critique them, put filters on them, whereas in your stories, you're just showing up and sharing your heart with those. And that is what they said. Over 70% of people now go straight to their stories before scrolling through the actual news feed. So if you're, you know, showing up, you're being consistent on there, well, then you're going to keep being at the front of the line, you know, when your followers are looking at your content. So that's huge. Okay, so talking about stories, and I learned this the hard way too, because like I'll get like in the morning, I'm doing my PD, I'm doing my workouts, share my clips, and I will do like 10, 20 stories all at once, and then I won't do nothing at nighttime. But, you know, you can go ahead and record that stuff, but then break it up, share it in those breadcrumb posts all day long. I even had to like train myself, like set a timer every 2 to 3 hours, so I'm not going too long without posting, which I let myself slack on the weekend some. But you know, on a routine day, you know, breaking those up every couple of hours instead of just all at once, just flooding your inbox. Because I learned the hard way with that too, that if you're just talking, then people are just going to, you know, skip on through you, and IG realizes that too. And that kind of goes to the second point there, mix it up. Like, they want to see your face, then what you're looking at. They want to see text, you know, making sure that you are using those poll options or the slide the happy face thing, or, you know, doing a geotag. They say always use the hashtag that they provide, you know, in their things, where it's like the colorful one, but usually always I'll like minimize it to where you can't even see it, but always use that one hashtag. It really helps. But changing it up, not just always talking every single time, you know, sharing your life story, but again, keep it brief, because people have those short attention spans. They really don't care, and they assume, yeah, good, it goes to the next one, assume that people are not listening to you. Most people, if they're during the day, they're probably at their full-time jobs, or who knows where, in church, where they need to be like quiet, so they might not even be listening and have their volume on. So that's where you want to add like a little snippet or a caption of something, just briefly telling what it is you're talking about, to intrigue them and, you know, grab their interest and their curiosity. Because if you're just talking and they have no idea what you're talking about, they're just going to keep tapping on through. Assume that they read slow. And heck, I didn't even know this. I didn't even know you could hold the screen down so that people can read whatever it is that's on your screen. So it'll go to the next one within 15 seconds. So they can hold it down. But in saying that, you know, do it where you're like, offer it, you say something here, but then your next post, and Ashley does a really good job at this, so I'm sure she's told y'all about that. But, you know, asking a question. Then on your next slide, you just save that and you keep adding a little to it each time to really break it down for them, so it's just not like all these words in one post that they're like trying to rush to read or tapping back, you know, and or just don't care. They're like, oh, well, that's too much, whatever, and keep going, but breaking it up. And then making them interactive, of course. Again, using those polls, asking them questions, because if you're asking them questions, what you're doing in your direct messaging has a lot of impact on your engagement, because that shows that you're adding value, you're building relationships. So always ask them, like even in your post on your wall, like tell them to DM me or something, but always ask questions in your feed and try, I mean, don't be a slave to your phone, but try to get back to them as soon as you can. And what Shalene had taught too is like, if you're using a poll, you know, you got 24 hours. So I have to like set a reminder for myself to go back through and check the poll. But when you do that, you can create a short message or either copy and paste so that you are responding to those 50-something comments quickly, you know, and it's just going to boost your engagement because you are actually responding to their polls. They're not just answering and then you ignoring them. It's vital that we respond back to them, even if it's just thanking them or, you know, adding some humor or whatever. Using the hashtags wisely. If you are noticing that a lot of other coaches are following you, or you're getting a lot of the spammy stuff, you know, that's the auto replies, oh, you're awesome, come collab with me, or whatever that it is that they say, then you want to check the hashtags that you use, because most likely it's one that's being overtaken by spammers, or, you know, even hard, like being a workout, you know, if we did like booty day, you have to be super cautious about what that's going to attract, you know, it could get into some dirty stuff. So just being smart about your hashtags. And of course, you know, I'm sure most of you know, don't ever use any that are specifically related to Beachbody or the programs that we use. But, and this is taking me a long time because they included in the Academy help with hashtags, which is Brock Johnson's thing. But creating your specific list, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. But make sure if you see that you're getting those spammers or a lot of coaches, then take it back to your hashtags. But hopefully y'all are using the hashtags, because that's, 20 plus something extra eyes or ways to get eyes on your stuff and growing your following organically. So talk to people. Again, this goes back to your DM is huge. I had no idea that like your direct messaging has more impact than your actual post and your live TV and stuff, but your stories and your DMs. So respond as quickly as you can. And I didn't know this either, that your comments, if you're like, good job or thank you, that stuff doesn't count. Your comments actually need to be greater than 4 words. So even if they're brief, you want to match whatever they put out. If they have a longer comment, then you want to have a longer response back. But I'll try to be like, thank you so much. And I like hope and pray that like counts as my 4 words if they are just saying something like, good job, Okay, and there again about the accountability for the DM thread. I know Ashley talked about y'all have them through Facebook, and my team doesn't actually have them through direct messaging. I was going to ask them about this because this is still also new to me, and I'm loving it, and that's why I wanted to be able to share. But there's like a big group that I'm in, and so anytime we make a post, you have the little arrow to where you can put it on your messenger or even in your stories, and so that they see that and they come and like, and you engage and you help boost your engagement. So even as a team, I think that would be a really good thing to implement to help each other create that extra engagement in an organic way. So that's been super helpful to boost mine. So you should try it. Okay, so again, this takes time, you guys, but only for now. You got to think about the long-term game. So look at your Instagram, look at your bio, look at your cover photo or whatever your little profile pic is up there, in the top 12 posts that you see if you're initially pulling it up. What does it say about you? Does it say that, oh, I'm just a shake slinger, oh, I'm just workout sweaty selfie, sweaty selfie, sweaty selfie? Or does it really set you apart and tell who you are? Or are you just one of the 450,000 coaches, just trying to sell a product? Because again, your Shakeology, Beachbody, they are not our brand. We are our brand, and we have to know exactly what sets us apart, why they would choose you over me or me over anyone else. You are different, you are unique, you are needed, every single one of us. The market is not saturated when there's billions of people who struggle with obesity and all the diseases that there are. So know your story, know what it is that you want to come across, and then say, is that what I'm actually showing? Is what I want people to see? Does it match what they actually see? And a good thing to do is, even what I've been doing lately, ask your friends, what do they see? What are you known as? What do they want to see more of? I actually asked that in my polls yesterday, and I got a lot of feedback. So ask your audience what they enjoy seeing most and how you can help grow, and the people that you actually want to target. So know your 5 focal areas, like say fitness, family, whatever your other job that you have, or you're a bakery, or I don't know, but know 5 things and capture that, and space it out. So it's not just all workout selfies or, all stock photos or whatever, which you don't want to do anyways. But, and then you're going to create hashtags to save in your notes for easy access for each of those columns. And this is what's taking me forever. I probably should delegate it, which I'm not great at that, but setting 28. And when you do this, I pull mine up on my laptop to search my hashtags, because you obviously know that you don't want one that's been used millions and millions of times. But also a thing that I wasn't looking at before is when you type it in, you want to be in the top rated post. So when you do that, see how many likes and comments those top rated posts are getting, and are you matching that? Or do they have 1,000 likes per photo when you're getting 50 likes per photo? If that's the average, then know that you're just going to fall into the bottom. So that's an important thing to say. You want to use something that's not being overused so that you can stay up at the top. So when other people are searching that hashtag, boom, you're right there popping up in their face. So, but again, do those top photos, are they like you, or are they just like kind of spammy type stuff as well? So it's a lot of things to consider when you're creating, those top posts. up there. And they said do 28 because, you know, you can do up to 30, but maybe you're going to use 1 or 2 in your actual post, or sometimes somebody that's commenting, they might use a couple or something like that, and you cannot go over the 30 or it will reject it. So, but always make sure that you keep it clean and just do a couple in the actual post and drop all the rest in the comments and try to get those up as soon as you can. So that's all I had. That went by quicker than what I thought. Oh, we're only at 7:20, but I have, because I was like, ew, where are y'all? Stop share. Okay. Anyways, so what questions does anybody have about any of this? Do y'all primarily grow on Instagram? Are you using hashtags? Are you being intentional with your posts, asking questions, using the polls and all that good stuff?
I definitely have a couple, if anyone else, feel free to jump in as you were going. So I might be really like missing the boat on this, but can you go back to holding the screen down? Was I the only one that had no idea about that? Like, what, can you explain that? If I touch your story, it'll like stop?
Yeah, if you just hold it down like with your thumb, it just stops.
I literally never do that. It's like mind blown. Huh.
I didn't know it either. And see, that's the thing that she was saying. Most people don't know that, so they just keep tapping through. So, you know, we can't really teach them that. So that's why we just break it down, which you do a great job with, I know.
I know that like Melissa just put one on her story today, and sometimes I'll do it if I have a lot to say. At the very top, I'll say hold down to read. So it tells them to hold it down to read if I have a lot on one story.
You guys are so smart. I never knew this. Okay.
Yeah. Go look at Melissa. She just put one on today, like literally.
Melissa.
Is it like a little sticker, or she just actually typed that in?
No, she just typed it like at the very top. So it's the first thing you read. And then at the bottom was like another text of like something longer. So, but I've done that too, where if it's like something long I want to say, I'll put at the very top, like hold down to read, and then like a separate text towards the bottom.
Love that. Thank you.
Cool. My question was mainly for and my team knows, like, I am so guilty of not using hashtags for the longest time. I was like, forget about them. They're annoying me. And I just kind of stopped for a long time, but I totally do see the benefit. And I thought it was really interesting what you said. Obviously, like, and something that I'm going to expand on next week, I do see a lot of parallels. So I'm excited, is the training I'm doing talks about your 5 core areas. And you simply, that it's not a guess as to what your next post should be about on Instagram, obviously weaving in health and fitness, but we have other things that we should be about. So same thing, having those created hashtags, that's a training I just did for each specific type of photo. So just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, when you're searching hashtags, you obviously don't want a super common one like fitness or mom of 2, mom of whatever, because if you're going to those hashtags and you're looking at the top, if the top rated ones have 50,000 likes, then our account's going to be like, we can't obviously get that. So you're saying you need to find a hashtag that you want to use for a certain picture, go to the top rated, and make sure that the top rated hashtags have likes that are comparable to what you could potentially get. Is that right? Did I understand that correctly?
Correct. Yeah. So let me see if I can even pull it back up for y'all. Actually just minimized out of my Instagram. So say I was working on my list.
Do you have any tips for finding the type of hashtag that would kind of fit that need for you?
Well, that's well, in the training, you need to know your exact 5 areas. Okay. So of course mine's faith, fitness, family, business, lifestyle. And what's my other one? I don't know. But like just overall motivation and daily encouragement. Okay, so it's not going to pull up right now. So I'm just thankful my computer hasn't. But once you pull up on your laptop or whatever computer, not your phone, you can do it on your phone, but it's just harder. So just go to Instagram.com, and when you go in that search box and you're typing in hashtags, so like if you're using fitness coach or something like that, it's probably going to be overused, but there's top 6 or 9 that is like whatever it's called, I don't know what those top ones are, but then the rest, everybody just falls beneath them. So those people that have the most likes, the most engagement and comments, they stay at the top, for a while, which is pretty cool to see. And the goal is for us to stay up there so that people see us. So it's taken me a long time. Yeah, I did all my business and lifestyle ones, because you just got to be careful with, coach and, burying it in that. And then, of course, the fitness ones are very hard because you don't want to just be buried or be like everybody else. So, again, it has to say if all those have like 800 something comments and you're not at that, which I'm not at that. So I just know I'm not going to use that one because it's not going to benefit me. And so it's taken a while, but really knowing and saving them to your phone to where you can just reuse them, but having the different lists, because if you just, again, you're using one list over and over and over, well, then you're just targeting the same people over and over and over, which isn't helpful either. So.
Yep, and from something that I just learned too was just a reminder, like make sure, I don't think it always used to be this way, but make sure your hashtags are directly reflecting the photo you're talking about, because it's not just post mass hashtags and see who you get, it's make your hashtag directly relatable. If it's, for me, if it's a yoga post, I should have hashtags around yoga and not me like eating tacos. Like that would be a little confusing. So my last question, I think I might have more, but the amount, like I just pulled up my recent hashtags that I've been searching and they've got like 39,000 hashtags, 17,000 hashtags. Did Shalene give any sort of rule as to like, maybe this is a general number that would be good to look for?
She didn't, because that's what I was looking at, because it's so different once you pull up each one, which 17 and 39, that's probably a really good, like they're probably only getting, less than 100 likes per one. But it's crazy because once you pull up those top posts, they're so different, but you definitely, once you get into like 500,000 plus, it's probably going to get buried. But if it's, if it's less than 8,000, then it's probably nobody's really using it. But that's what I was looking for too. And I'm only halfway through Brock's training because I wanted to make sure I'm implementing as I go, but they haven't gave a set number yet. But somewhere around in there, couple thousand up to, under 500. But again, once you click on that actual post, seeing how many likes and comments are on there. But don't compare yourself to the videos, just the actual post.
I have a comment. I've read that you don't want all those crazy like million posts, because you're right, you get drowned in that. But then if you get less than, I think it's like 1,000, you're not really going to be seen in that, because those are where some of those spammers sit in there, because they don't have lots of followers. So you want somewhere in between. So if you're just creating a random hashtag, if you don't do the list, then you hashtag like, fitness, then you want to be right in the middle where it's a more than about 5,000, but not more than 100,000. You want to be right in that middle, so that way you are seen, because that way, if you don't have tons of followers, then you're not going to be seen on the higher up ones. But I've read it on multiple different websites and articles that you want to be right in the middle, so there is not that specific number.
That's good.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thanks, Morgan. And for sure, this takes time because I haven't started this yet. That's my goal for tomorrow. But Kristi, my other question for you is, I think the information is pretty straightforward, but I know we have some like super new coaches listening in tonight. And I'm just wondering if we can kind of sum it up, like this is not meant to be overwhelming. This is for you guys to understand that Instagram is constantly changing. And it's just a matter of taking some time to learn what works. And I'm someone who gets very stuck in my ways. And that's why I struggled for the last 6 months, because I didn't want to adapt to change. So if we could kind of sum this up for part one, Kristi, I think what I'm hearing is obviously, and I'll go deeper into this as well next week too, but engagement is the name of the game, right? So if your stories are important, you're not posting a story just to post a story. You're posting a story so people respond to you and you respond back to them. Obviously creating posts, I think we both have the same theme of your 5 things, and then simply rotating through them with great quality pictures is going to capture people's attention. I did not know the comment thing. I love that you said that. So just to confirm, if Instagram likes when someone or us commenting more than 4 words, is that right?
4 words, yep.
Okay, so if someone says great or love this, you would say like, thank you so much, thanks so much for following, or something. If you can respond with a longer comment, that looks good. Is that right?
Yes.
I didn't know that, so that's really good to know. Okay. But I think it comes down to, and Kristi, let me know what you think on this. I think it comes down to forget about the amount of followers that you have and think about the engagement that you can create with your current followers and with your new followers. Now, the only thing I wanted to know is, as far as you going out and finding, like, do you find new accounts to follow? I tell my team, like, aim for following 20 new accounts a day, depending on hashtags or pages or whatever. Do you have a number of accounts that you're going out and following each day?
I don't. I'll set a timer, and do it that way. But it's so hard because I specifically will try, without doing a lot of scrolling, but try to target private accounts so that they have to scope me out to see who I am, And when you do that, it doesn't actually, unless you're just like one by one writing, follow, 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 which I try to, because I plug it into Teamsy, give it 2 days, saying that I requested a requested hashtag, and then if they didn't accept me within 2 days, I'll go in and remove it, so it's just not like I'm looking spammy. But 20 is a good number, because I try not to spend too much time on that. So if I add, 10 to 15 quality people a day, then I'm good at that.
Does anyone else have any questions about anything Kristi talked about?
But I loved what you just said there, Ashley, too, because they talked about your amount of likes is really not that important right now. I mean, yeah, you get the swipe up feature if you're over 10,000 or whatever, but it's all about the engagement that you have.
That's totally right. Because I think a lot of times we get stuck on, oh, well, I don't have that many, or only this many people like my post. That doesn't really matter. What matters is, you're right. Like, are they reading it? Are they engaging? Yeah. And I did not know about the carousel post. I actually have never, true story, never ever done a post on Instagram where you had to swipe through. But you're saying that's a good thing, because that means if someone's swiping through your pictures, it's more activity on your account.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even know when they said carousel post. I was like, what's a carousel post?
It makes sense.
Yeah, every swipe is good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else, guys? Any other questions for Kristi? And I think we're both we've both been in the business, working our business around for the same time, and we can both tell you that things just change. So it doesn't matter if you've been a coach for 3 minutes or a coach for 5 years. Like, we all have to adapt to change, and we either can say, well, it doesn't work for me, I'm not good at this, or I need to learn more about this, and this is how I'm going to adapt to the changes. I'm already so excited to have this new renowned excitement for Instagram now that I finally feel like I have a plan. So I'm super excited to talk more about this. And can I ask just a random, I always feel good questions to wrap up with. So I know I'm totally just throwing this to you, but Kristi, could you tell us real quick, what coaching has done for you in the last 2014, so 4 years?
Oh gosh, everything, you guys, everything. Seriously, like I said, I'm no longer a slave on somebody else's time clock. I'm here, which, coaching full time is hard. It is so much harder than a corporate job, because then you got to clean the house. You got to make sure everything's clean. You can't focus if there's all this clutter, and with our adoption stuff, I have all this paperwork and fundraisers that I'm doing on the side, but it's so rewarding, and then I'm spending time with my husband. We've traveled, we go to the Caribbean at least twice a year. We've been to places people our age have never even been, and like I said, we're growing a family. It's always been a dream of mine to be stay at home, a work at home mom, because I'm a workaholic, I really am, but just to be there with my kids and not miss out on those things. So just freedom, my husband will tell you, more than anything, just being on these calls, I was so down, depressed before all of this, and now, doing these videos and stuff, I learned to love myself through this opportunity more than anything. So that's key.
And I don't think we shared this yet, but Kristi's competed in fitness competitions, and check her out on Instagram and Facebook, because she's freaking amazing, and her body will give you slight body goals. But
it's been a few years.
How can people find you on Instagram? What's your username?
Oh, speaking of that, well, right now it's Fitness Coach Kristi K, but it's about to be changed after 4 years, because through this training, my goal, and that's why I asked yesterday, my goal is not to be known as a fitness coach. Fitness is a part of me. It's an important part of me, but I'm limiting myself. You want to make sure you are your brand, and I'm like, do I just change it to Kristi Kynard or what? But it's about to be changed, because I'm not just a fitness coach. I'm a wife, about to be mommy. I'm a business mentor. I'm in the changing lives, finding purpose, and passion business, and not just about fitness. So Yeah, I'm about to change that. So y'all look at your names and your IG handles and your whatever you're calling yourself on your business page is so important. Because you, again, you're your brand. You're not just a coach. You're not just a Beachbody's not your brand. But yeah, right now I'm fitness coach Kristi K. So.
Gotcha. I think that's so essentially Shalene is saying, like, try to stay away from calling yourself a fitness coach in your Instagram username.
Yeah, she was like, even when people were introducing themselves, they were introducing themselves as their company. And she's like, no, you are your brand, And I asked them, I said, I've grown a big following. I've been doing this for 4 years. What's going to benefit me the most? And they said, you need to change your name.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm just like, I hate this part because even like coming up with challenge groups and stuff, I'm always like asking my team, like, what's a good name? What's a good name? So I'm like, do I just go to my name? Do I make it just Kristi Kynard, So I need to do that like now. But
that's really good to know. Yeah, and I'm my name. I'm Ashley Howard 88. I changed my name a bunch of times on Instagram, and I'm sticking with that for now because it's just me. And I'm, so I think if you guys maybe, again, I don't think there's anything wrong in the algorithm that would. It's not a bad thing to change your name, right? It's not like it's going to.
They said if they're already following you and they mean to follow you, they're going to keep following you, So hopefully you guys are all set to public. We didn't go that basic, but.
Yeah, public account. And that's take a look at your name. If you feel like your username is limiting you and keeping you in a box, and maybe if someone sees that name, they might decide right then and there to follow you or not, that might be a good trigger to maybe think of going back to something, maybe just your name or something else that's not fitness related. Okay, cool. Anything else, guys? Any other questions for Kristi?
Yeah, I try not to go too in depth. I thought I would go a little bit longer, but we'll do round 2 next week. And if y'all have any questions, and I'm going to be immersing myself into more stuff. So, at the end next week, if we have anything else, we can go a little deeper.
Stephanie, did you have a question?
Yeah. At the beginning, you had something about photos turned into blog posts. Are you talking about just really long captions or something actually linking to a blog?
And I currently right now, I do not have a blog. I don't know, Ashley, do you have a blog? But they want you to link, because people are doing longer posts now, but of course breaking it up with little emojis and the dots, so it's just not like blah, but adding like your link to your blog there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have a blog. I know I follow a lot of mommy bloggers, but I don't have one. My captions are mini blog posts themselves. I'm kind of long-winded sometimes, but okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Kristi. This was awesome. We like to do a group pic. Can I take a screenshot real quick, guys?
Yep.
I usually make them do funny hand symbols, but we'll just about that. All right, hang on. I'll give